12 guys, let's get cracking. Welcome to today's daily YuBreak. For those of you that haven't joined me this far, my name is JC. I am a personal trainer and Pilates instructor here in London, and I have teamed up with YuLife to deliver these YuBreaks, daily YuBreaks, Monday to Friday at 12 p.m. Just 10 minutes of your time to help break up the day, but also just try and deliver those small changes that are eventually going to yield big results. And so today we're going to be focused on our total body stretch. I've got 3 in particular for you, and we are going to be using the door frame. Everyone has one again, so don't worry about it. We just want to make sure that these are not only accessible for everybody, but that they are manageable, and again, those small changes yield big results. All right, so the first one's pretty simple, guys. There are generally a lot of common problems that we see with people having to sit at a desk for too long, and those are problems in the shoulders, the chest, naturally through the lats, these 2 big muscles down the side as well, and we generally get a little bit of stiffness through the front, and we're going to address all of those today. So the first one is pretty simple. I'm going to ask you guys to stand side on to the door, and then you're going to grab the underside of the opposite side of the door. Now I have my right hand through the door, and therefore I'm going to take my left foot forward, so it's opposite hand to opposite leg, and all I'm doing here is I'm just stabilizing myself. I like to put my other hand on my stomach. It sometimes helps me keep my t-shirt down, but it also just allows me to get into that. Now all I'm trying to do is I'm trying to turn my right shoulder away, and by doing so, that opens up through the chest, and it also opens up into the bicep as well. And so we just come into that. All I'm trying to do, I am rotating my head, but it's this shoulder. Now some of you might not be able to turn, and that's not a problem, but I still want you to try and emphasize the turn there, the rotation. So really come through that as much as you possibly can, and then bring that back. Beautiful. Same again. So we're coming through as much as we possibly can. Beautiful. We're going to go over the opposite side. My back is going to be turned to you guys, but it's still the same thing. Now my left hand is through the door. I'm going to take my right foot forward, and I'm trying to rotate my left shoulder away from the door. And again, that's just getting into the chest a little bit, and it's also getting into the bicep. For those of you that maybe can't hold on to the top, don't worry. You simply just grab onto here, and it's still the same thing. You're just opening up that little bit more. But when we do take our hand overhead or slightly above our head, it generally gets into the bicep a little bit more than people are used to. And so we just want to come into that, guys. Just a few more. Hold, breathe, find a natural breathing rhythm, please. Beautiful. And give it a shake off. So ideally it's getting into the bicep a little bit, guys, and it's just starting to open up the chest. I've talked about this a lot. If we're always hunched over, if we're rounding through the back, we want to over-exaggerate in the opposite direction, stretching out the chest. We're now going to take care of these 2 big muscles down the side here. Again, when everything's hunched over, they tend to get pretty stiff, but they're also underworked as well. So this time we're going to face through the door, and all we're going to do is take one hand above us, and again, if you can't, then you're just going to bring to the side of the door. But all you're going to do, I've got my right hand up, my left foot forward, and this time I'm dropping down as well as rotating. So I'm rotating, but I'm also trying to lean through the door, and that's getting nicely into that lat, that big muscle there. You might also get some still in the arm and the chest. That's not a problem. Both stretches are very similar, but they do have a slight emphasis. Now, one thing I like to do here is I like to pull this skin of my stomach over. So that's the fascia. I'll go into that in later series, guys. But again, this starts to get really tight, that connective tissue. So we just want to basically just pull this region down. And if you just start pulling on the skin a little bit, you should feel a nice increased stretch there. And again, that allows you maybe to get a little bit more out of it. Give it a little bit of a shake off. We're going to go into the opposite side. So left hand up, right foot through. So opposite hand to opposite foot. I'm letting gravity do the work by just leaning through the door, allowing that to open up, and then again, I'm pulling that skin. I'm just trying to, and you will feel a little bit of a release. That's the connective tissue. And we just want to take as much as we can and pull it over. And again, so I am stepping through, but I'm also rotating away from that hand. And again, I'm using this opposite hand to pull the skin and really get a nice bit of movement there. Beautiful. So we're just going to shake that off. So that takes care of those main common areas. We're now going to pop into the dome. We're going to do the quads a little bit more. Again, these tend to get shortened because we're sat down, and I'm going to give you a little bit of a stretch, but it's similar to what you guys know, but there's one variation, or there's one emphasis that I like to put on it, which just completely blows it out of the water and actually makes it a hell of a lot more effective, okay? So again, we've got the good old standing. Now before we do this, for those of you who have been sat for a while, I want you guys just to get a little bit of movement into the legs, please, before you try and do this, because the last thing that you really want to do is overstretch a tight muscle. That's how injuries happen. So we want to get a little bit of movement into our legs before we start this. So we're just going with a couple of high knees, and we're also coming with just a couple of heel flicks, trying to get a little bit of motion into this region, because we are going to be stretching this off, obviously. So nice and simple now. I'm going to come into the good old-fashioned quad stretch. But what you'll naturally start to find is that people arch into their back to facilitate this. Well, again, all right, you might be super tight in the quad and that might work, but we want to make it as effective as possible. So hold on to something. And now what I want to do, I'm going to give you guys a side-on view, is I want you to round your back, and what you'll do is you're pulling your abdominals in, you're pulling your belly button in, and that increases the stretch because it shortens the distance. So instead of facilitating, we want to go against it. I'm holding on, I'm still doing the same thing. And then if you need to, you take your leg behind, but you don't move your upper body. You stay nice and rounded. And again, that really pulls on that quad. We're going to go on the opposite side. So find something to hold on to. I'll show you from the side on. So we come into this. Instead of arching the back, you're going to round your back, and you'll instantly feel the increase in the stretch, and that's what we want. And then for those of you that need a little bit more, you take the knee behind, but you maintain the upper body position. And we're holding that for 5, 4, 3, 2. Gently bring that down, and then same thing again. Just get a little bit of movement back into that region. So nice high knees, bringing those in. Again, we're taking the hip flexors through a bigger range than they've just been through, being sat for X amount of hours. And then we want to just add in a little bit of rotation, nice and simple. Again, get that in. And we're going to repeat this one more time on each side, guys. So nice and simple. Again, don't arch, round, increase the stretch, hold. 5, 4, 3, 2. Beautiful. Opposite side. Here we go. Round, shorten the distance. Take the knee behind if you need more. 4, 3, 2. Beautiful. All right, so we're going to end with just some quick breathing, guys. Again, it is Monday, and at the end of last week, I showed you guys a few different variations of breathing techniques. Now, again, some of you might have had the kids all weekend, so you might need to de-stress today. You might have a little bit of time to yourself, and you might want to de-stress. So again, you're going to take nice, long, deep breaths. But since it is a Monday and we've got the work week ahead of us, most of us are going to need something a little bit more, a little bit of a kick to kind of kick on with Monday and then into the week. So we're going to do 10 fast breathing techniques. And it's nice and simple, guys. You can take one deep breath in, and then you're going to forcefully breathe out 10 times, really hard, really forceful, and that's just going to get your heart rate up. It's just going to elevate your breathing. It's going to elevate that heart rate, and it's just going to get you zhuzhed up, and it's going to get you motivated to take on the rest of the day. On the 10th one, then you just breathe out with whatever's left, all right? So you can take one deep breath in, 10 forceful breaths out, trying to really push that breath out. And again, you'll know the difference once we get there, all right? Here we go. So take a deep breath in. Here we go. Beautiful. Heart rate jacked up. Feeling that energy, guys. Getting myself ready. And again, I use these in moments when I've got a big meeting coming up, or I'm just about to go for a workout, or I really need something just to get me going if I have something that needs that kind of vibe, that attention. Again, I will see you guys tomorrow. Thank you so much for coming today. As always, if you guys have any questions, please email hello@yulife.com. I will see you tomorrow for the daily YuBreak at 12 o'clock. Same time, same place. Have a great day, guys. Bye-bye.